Just below me is the boat ramp at Lake Allen Henry out in West Texas. Today's trivia question: there's something unique about this lake that you won't find anywhere else in the state of Texas. Do you know what the answer is? You will know if you watch for the next half hour. We're going to exploit it because coming up next, this is Fox Sports Outdoors.
It's time for your weekly fishing reports and real-time outdoor news from the Southeast region. This is Fox Sports Outdoors.
Well, as you can see right down here below us, Lake Allen Henry is a gorgeous lake set out in the desert hill country of West Texas. It's got all kinds of cedar breaks and mesquite trees around it, lots of rolling and rugged hillside. But Lake Allen Henry is different from every other lake in the entire state of Texas for one reason. It's the only lake in the state that's got a catchable population of spotted bass. But wait, you say, I've caught spotted bass before. Yes, you have. They're the smaller strain of Kentucky spotted bass that are across most of the state of Texas. Here at Allen Henry, they have a catchable population of the Alabama strain of spotted bass. They grow much larger, much fatter. They're a great fighting sport fish that you're going to love catching. On this week's episode, we're going to take the Nitro Z20, launch it in Lake Allen Henry, go out in search of some spotted bass. While we're out doing that, we're taking you around your local region for this week's fishing reports from our team of expert insider reporters. Right now, we get the boat launched, take you back to the FSN studios to get it all started with your weekend planner.
The fishing tables are indicating that the best action over the weekend will take place early and late. Expect peak game fish activity to occur around the dusk and dawn hours on both days. The sun will rise at 7:13 and set at 7:48. And evening skies will hold a crescent moon that is 29% illuminated. Stay with us. All of your fishing updates from around the region are on the way. Plus, I'll return with current Bassmaster Classic winner Edwin Evers to help us with this week's Ask the Pro question. We're coming right back.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Tracker Boats. It's more than just a boat, it's a tracker. Costa Sunglasses, see what's out there. Mercury Marine, official outboard of Fox Sports Outdoors. And Lowrance Electronics, find, navigate, dominate.
Got it. Way down there deep. There's a spot. All right, there's a little chunk. That's not one of the good ones, but something to get it going. All right, welcome back, everybody. We've made it out on the lake. There's your spotted bass, just like we talked about. That's just a good 2 1/4, 2.5 pound spot. I'll show you how you can tell these fish here in just a little bit, how you can tell it's a spot from a largemouth bass. But I'm going to let that fish go back. Let me orient you a little bit to the lake. As I mentioned, this lake is about an hour south of Lubbock, Texas. Lots of rocks, lots of scrub brush, big boulders, clear water. It's about a 2,800 acre lake. It's fed basically by two arms. The double mountain fork of the Brazos River is the main channel, and then the Grape Creek on the other side. So two main arms, kind of murky water in the upper ends, a little bit stained off-colored water there, but real clear water down in the lower end. You'll find these spotted bass out on these rocky points, rocky ledges, out in deeper, clearer water. So that kind of gets you going. We've got a fish to get things started. By the way, Lake Allen Henry was named after Allen Henry. Who is Allen Henry? Trivia question. The answer, he was a former mayor of Lubbock, Texas, right up the road. Let's get you some fishing and lake reports to get things started.
This portion of the show is brought to you by the state of Mississippi, where fishing fun is year-round and where the Mississippi Gulf Coast offers some of the best inshore angling and offshore adventures anywhere in the world. So start your fishing adventure in the true South, Mississippi. Well, fish along the southeast coast are in transition mode, going from late winter habitat into this early spring habitat, and this unstable weather has them kind of in between shallow water and deeper water areas. I was talking to Captain Patrick Garmison over out of Dauphin Island, Alabama, and he says the fishing can be great for trout and redfish, but right now you've got to try to find clear water. That can be a challenge almost any day, but Patrick recommends using NASA satellite imaging, which you can find on the internet. The key is to try to find those clear water patches in Mississippi Sound and also Mobile Bay. Patrick also says flounder fishing has been very good at the river mouths. Sheepshead are beginning to mass for spawning around the oil rigs near shore in Alabama and also in nearby Mississippi. In Georgia, sheepshead fishing also has been good. These are big fish, 3 to 8 pounds, sometimes better than that. Please be generous about letting these bigger fish go. Those are the brood stock. They are catching around the near shore wrecks and reefs within 3 to 8 miles of shore using fiddler crab bait, sometimes small pieces of shrimp. Triple tail fishing also is improving all on the coast of Georgia. These are nice fish. They're starting to show up around the channel markers and the tide lines. It's great fishing, good sport. Live shrimp work well on triple tail. Well, that's it for the Southeast Coast fishing. Get out on the water and take a youngster with you when you go.
Welcome to the Alabama, Georgia, and Mississippi Freshwater Fishing Update. This week's action is brought to you by Lake Guntersville, Alabama. Boasting 69,000 acres of clear blue perfection, the area offers hotels, lakefront cabins, public boat ramps, and restaurants. If you prefer big fish and a big pond, Guntersville is the right destination. www.fishguntersvillelake.com. Now we've reached the end of March and the bass fishing is hot on Alabama's Lake Mitchell. Located halfway between Birmingham and Montgomery on the Coosa River, this 5,865 acre reservoir is giving up big largemouth and spotted bass right now. You want to be targeting these fish in the stained water around grass beds, and a good tactic to use is tossing jigs with plastic trailers or Carolina rigged worms. The best area to target is from Walnut Creek south to Cargill Creek on the west shore of the impoundment, but don't overlook the points and the islands around the mouth of Hatchet Creek. It's on the east shore as well. Now, largemouth bass are active this week on Georgia's West Point Lake on the Chattahoochee River. You want to look for these fish in the secondary points up in feeder creeks. Look for the best action downstream of the State Route 109 bridge. Now, located near Laurel, Mississippi, Lake Claude Bennett is a state fishing lake that is noted for giving up red ear sunfish. These shell crackers are moving to the shore to spawn right now, and fishing a night crawler on the bottom can fill a stringer this week.
Scattered brush. That's a fish. Thought it was brush. It was actually a fish. Good night. All right, just a little spot. All right, I promised that I would show you how to tell the difference between a spotted bass and a largemouth. And there are several ways. I can just tell by looking at them, by looking at the horizontal lines down their sides. They've got a couple of patches on their teeth, but the easiest way to tell is to close their mouth and then look right here. That's the jawbone. If the jawbone with the mouth closed is even with or in front of the eye, it's a spotted bass. On a largemouth bass, that bone right there will extend way back here past the eye. So basically a much bigger mouth. But look at that bone right there, and if you can close that fish's mouth, if I can get him to close his mouth right there, and you can see that that bone is about even with his eye. If it comes back here, it's a largemouth. Easy way to tell right there. Fish goes back. Stay with us, we're coming right back. Real, he's got it. Got him. There we go. There's a decent spot. All right. Here's a beautiful spotted bass right there for you. Long, skinny, hard fighting fish right there. Back he goes. Hey everybody, let's talk about spotted bass terrain for just a second. We're here at Allen Henry Lake in West Texas. Look how steep this terrain is right here. Those rocks fall straight off, and my boat is sitting in 40 feet of water right now, and I'm throwing up in about probably 10 to 15 and dragging it off in that 40. So let me give you these keys. No matter where you live, spotted bass versus largemouth. Largemouth bass tend to live shallower, in murkier water, and on flatter terrain and around more brushy type cover. Spotted bass tend to live on steeper terrain, clearer water, more steep, rocky type structure, and a lot deeper. It's nothing for a spotted bass to live in 40, 50, 60 feet of water. Remember that when you're fishing for these fish. By the way, if you want to come to this lake, Allen Henry, you can contact Philip Poole. The information you see on your screen right there, I think he's got a web address, contact telephone number. If you'd like to book a guide trip, he's guided for 20 years here on this lake, and he has these spotted bass dialed in. He's caught a bunch of great big ones, and his clients have as well. All right, let's get you some more fishing and lake reports from where you live.
Hey gang, this week's fishing report from Tennessee and Kentucky is brought to you by Bass Mafia. They're the makers of the bait coffin, the world's strongest, most secure, advanced tackle storage system. They've got latches that are second to none. They've got an O-ring seal that guarantees that no water, no moisture, no condensation gets in. And on top of that, they're made out of a material, out of a plastic. You can park your truck and boat on top of this thing. MafiaOutdoors.com. Check out the bait coffin today. Now, let me tell you what's happening in Tennessee and Kentucky. They're biting. You're gonna have to fight a little bit of weather right now because it's spring, and you'll have wind, you'll have some little cold fronts come through. You know, the thing is, the fishing is really, really good. The Tennessee River is as good as arguably it's ever been right now. Chickamauga, Kentucky Lake, several 30-pound stringers have been caught in recent tournaments. That's 5 fish, so think about that. The crappie fishing is on fire as well. The fish are really, really, really looking to spawn. There's fish that are spawning, there's fish, the majority of them are on their way to spawn. So look for bays, flat, gravel banks, anywhere with a firm bottom that's a little bit protected, and you want to find something that deep water runs relatively close against. And that's what we call a transition area. So if you're out in Tennessee and Kentucky right now and you're bass fishing, look for transition areas. If you're crappie fishing, look for shallow cover. Here's where you want to be right now. Chickamauga, Kentucky Lake, Percy Priest, Dale Hollow, Lake Cumberland, and Reelfoot. They're all on fire.
I got a bite right here. I got a bite, he's swimming with it. Got it right there. Oh, that's a good pull. That's a good fish right there. Yeah, I thought it was, but guess what? This is what I'm destined to catch today. They're beautiful fish, hard fighters, and fun to catch. Let me explain one quick thing here before we take a break. You see, I'm using a bait caster today. When do you choose a spinning rod and reel on this finesse tackle like I'm using a little shaky head and a little small plastic worm? But when do you choose a spinning rod and reel versus a larger bait caster? Well, lots of brush and cover down through here. There's lots of things that a fish, especially a decent fish, can get around and break off 6 or 8 pound test line. So if I'm fishing open water, I'll fish that lighter rod and reel. This is the heavier one, and by the way, this is brand new. This is the brand new loose TP1 Speed Stick series. You can tell it by the white color. This is a 7-foot medium heavy action. It's got the wind grip on it. It's got the microwave guide system on it. It is a fantastic rod, and I've got it paired with the Lew's Speed Spool LFS. It's the best $99 bait cast reel on the market. It's got all the features of a much more expensive reel at a much less expensive price. LFS, lighter, faster, stronger. That's what those letters stand for. Check it out at your local retailer. Hey, we'll be back for more from Allen Henry Lake in West Texas.
Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Lose, fueled by passion, driven by innovation. Feel the difference. Gene LaRue and Bobby Garland Lures. With our baits, a good day of fishing is in the bag. And Strand Fishing Lines, the standard of dependability.
There's one. There's a decent spot. I've hit my little Texas rigged tattletale worm. Little spotty right there. Allen Henry Lake, south of Lubbock, Texas. Let's talk a little bit about what spotted bass eat. They eat crawfish. That's what they love the most. They eat shad, alewife. They'll eat really any kind of little bait fish that swim around in whatever impoundment they're in. The lures that you want to catch them, though, are really interesting. The fish will hit moving baits like a crankbait, a rattle bait. I caught one today on a jerk bait. But let me tell you, day in and day out, by far, without question, the best baits for spotted bass are little soft plastic baits, little undersized baits. That's a little tattletale worm. I'll show all the baits to you, several of them, and I'll show you how I've got it rigged. I've got a little secret going right here that helps attract them. But soft plastic baits of all kinds, little grubs, small plastic worms, crawfish imitations, they are suckers for those plastic baits like that, and little small sizes, anywhere from 2 to 4 inch sizes, are the very best. By the way, the Texas state record spotted bass was caught right here at Allen Henry just this year, and look at this fish, 5.98 pounds, and caught in January by Josh Helmstetler. Time for more fishing and lake reports for you right now.
Hey folks, Captain E here with your Carolinas report, this week brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon located in Murrells Inlet on the beautiful Marsh Walk. Make sure you put us on your list of destinations to visit in the Grand Strand area. Open 7 days a week for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We are the place you want to be. Remember, it's always about the food, the view, and the music here. And I'll tell you what, the freshwater side of things, so many things going on in the Carolinas, from the incredible crappie bite that's going on most of the lakes right now, down to the bass that are starting to get on those beds. I tell you what, in South Carolina in particular right now, those fish have already started moving onto those beds. The warmer temperatures that we've had this winter, the mild winter obviously has made an incredible difference, but I'll tell you what, they are on those beds. You get out right now, you can find some of those big females, but also look for those aggressive males that are going to be out there protecting those guys. Using a spinnerbait right now can be one of your best ways to get out and target these fish in those normal areas where you know they're going to be bedding. Also the crappie, make sure you've got some live bait tipped on a jig to get out and target those on top of your favorite brush pile. Also, the striper bite has been incredible. Up on the Broad River, down on the Santee Rivers, these fish are starting to make that migration right now to go ahead and get into that spawning mode. You can get out right now with some good live herring or some fresh cut ones and have a great time right now catching some of the biggest fish you're going to catch of the season as those fish start to go up there and lay those eggs. This has been your Carolinas report brought to you by the Dead Dog Saloon. Remember, fish smarter, not harder, and keep your chaos organized.
There he is. Look at that, beautiful. All right, there's a little chunk. Beautiful. Lines down his side, kind of gold color. Small mouth. All right, back that one goes. We are putting them back today. What I'm trying to do is keep the boat out in about 25 feet of water. And I'm trying to hit any little rock ledges, rock points. In fact, I want to show you something on my Lowrance HDS Gen 3 unit back here. I've got it split screen, and you can actually see some of the brush down below us. On the left-hand side, you can see the 2D view. On the right-hand side, you can see the downscan view, and you can actually see the limbs of that brush. Then I'm going to pan over here real quick and show you my other unit that I've got set on my chart, and you can actually see this long, skinny ridge running right in here, and that's typical for spotted bass. They like to live on structure, rocks, and they tend to live a little deeper than the other fish. So remember that. Find those little areas and those little drop-offs out in deeper water.
Be sure to join Fox Sports Outdoors again next week, Thursday night at 6, or catch the repeat airing Sunday morning at 8:30. And you can always watch the latest episode in full HD on the front page of our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. Plus, catch up on all past episodes by clicking the archive button, and see lots of how-to and product videos by clicking the how-to button. Also, stay up to date with the latest fishing news, videos, and photos by clicking the follow button on our Twitter feed. And get lots of that same info by clicking the like button on our Facebook page. Fox Sports Outdoors is brought to you by Excite AGM Marine Batteries. Starts like new, stays like new longer. Motor Guide Trolling Motors, because accuracy matters. And Nitro Performance Fishing Boats. Champions aren't born, they're made.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time now for the Ask the Pro question, your chance for advice from professional anglers. This week, Eric wants to know, is it better to take my fishing vacation during the pre-spawn or the actual spawn? For the answer, we asked the recent 2016 Bassmaster Classic champion, Edwin Evers.
If I had my choice, I would like to take my vacation a week before the full moon in April, March, whatever that time frame is for your part of the country, when that water temperature is at 55 to 60 degrees the week before that full moon.
Thank you, Edwin. If you have a question to ask one of the pros, simply go to our website, follow the Ask the Pro link, and let us know. Now let's find out which big fish photo wins someone a brand new pair of Costa sunglasses on the Costa Catch of the Week.
Each week, someone wins a free pair of Costa sunglasses right here on the show by entering the Costa Catch of the Week contest. I'll tell you how in just a moment, but first, here's this week's winner. He is Earl Konatzer of Alpine, Tennessee, showing a 10.21 pound largemouth bass he caught at Lake Chickamauga, Tennessee. If you'd like to be our next winner, all you have to do is go to our website at foxsportsoutdoors.com. On the right-hand side of the front page, click on the Costa Catch of the Week area, and you could be our next winner. And you can see all of the great Costa frame and lens styles by going back to the front page of our website and clicking on the Costa logo. You can see all of the great 580 lens colors and styles there, and all of the great frame styles like the frame I was wearing on this week's episode. This one is called Manta. Next up on the Academy Right Stuff feature, it's the right gear to target spotted bass on any lake near you that has these great game fish in it. So I'm going to show you 3 of my favorites in my hand. They're plastic baits. Now, as I mentioned, you can catch some on a jerk bait, crankbait, even a little spinner bait, lots of moving baits under the right circumstances. But the go-to day in, day out best baits are always plastic. Beginning on your left, that is a 1/4 ounce lead jig head with an open hook and a Jean LaRue Rally grub. That's my favorite grub. Next up, got a 4-inch finesse worm. That is a salthead shaky worm by Jean LaRue, and a little bit longer tattletale worm by Jean LaRue. That's what I caught most of the fish today on, and I rigged it Texas rigged, and here was the secret. I use a tungsten weight, about a 1/4 ounce size, and a red glass bead. It's gotta be glass, not plastic. Those two things click together and make a lot of noise echoing in the water, and then I rigged that on a 2/0 red offset worm hook. From the time you and I were little kids, we've always loved a good story. Whether in a movie or in one of those little golden storybooks that I remember so well, some of those stories were happy, some sad, some captivating, some boring, but everybody loves a story. Did you ever think of your life as a story? And do you like how your story is unfolding? If so, good for you. If not, why not get started writing a better story? That's right, you and only you have a choice as to how your story unfolds and how it ends. I hope you enjoyed our trip today to Lake Allen Henry, about an hour south of Lubbock, Texas. It's a great spotted bass lake, but more importantly, I hope you learned from some of the tips and techniques that we talked about on this episode that just may help you catch spotties on a lake near you. They are so much fun to catch. I will meet you right back here on the air next week, same time, same channel. Until then, I'm Barry Stokes saying be safe, have fun. Bye-bye, y'all.